this wonderful PowerPoint that Brian Mack put together. There, and you should be seeing my PowerPoint deck.
Looks good, Aaron.
Brian, it's like Groundhog's Day, man. So I had my first soccer match canceled because of COVID.
What are you going to do?
I'm actually going to get to enjoy an evening. I only got one match today.
You guys, is Catherine still on? At our training subgroup, they were telling us about how to make sure we all got the chat questions because we seem to be missing them, but I think we've missed some, but okay. That should work.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the only place I know in the chat function, unless there's some other.
You're having a hard time hearing you, Aaron.
I don't know where else I'm supposed to be looking. I mean, there's the chat drop down.
Right, but I'm not, what I'm saying is the way people put it in the chat, okay? Because we ask them to do it to everyone, and not everybody has that option. I seem to, and that might be how we're missing some people, but.
Yeah, I'll mention that. So
all right,
everybody. We're live. So, hey, everybody, this is Aaron Fredrickson. I'm with Alternative Dispute Resolution Unit. We're going to wait another 2 minutes to make sure that everyone has a chance to log in. Brian with me today is Brian Mack, a fellow mediator arbitrator within the ADR unit, and our supervisor to make sure that we do a good job, Sandy Barnes. They're going to be watching the chat function. Now, it's important that if you want to send a chat to us, that you make sure that within the chat feature, it says to, and then everyone is highlighted. So if I wanted to send a private message to Brian saying, hey, do you want to go to lunch tomorrow? I could obviously highlight his name and send a message to him. If it was highlighted to everyone, then everyone would think that I'm inviting them to lunch. And given the fact that I have 2 kids in college and 2 kids that will be in college soon, I can't afford to do that, unfortunately. So if you want lunch at White Castle, I could do that. But so we're going to wait another minute here. And we'll get going. We want to thank everyone for joining us today. We've been working hard to make sure that everyone has adequate training before we go live. And I kind of feel like the countdown to the election is the countdown to go live, because we're going live a day early. So I see that we're at 2:03, so I'm going to begin. So my name is Aaron Fredrickson. Like I said, I'm a mediator arbitrator with the Alternative Dispute Resolution Unit within the Department of Labor and Industry. I'm going to be flying the Barbie leg here for the next probably 45 minutes, sitting in the co-pilot seat. We have Brian Mack. I'm the one that once we hit that little bit of turbulence, I'm going to be freaking out. So you might hear Brian jump on the intercom and instruct the flight attendants to please return to their seats and discontinue beverage service. What we plan to do here is talk about accessing documents within the campus system. And actually, while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to pull up the Department of Labor and Industry website. Just one second. Got all these pop-ups on my screen, and just one second. So if you go to the Department of Labor and Industry website and you're looking for additional training, what you're going to need to do, and hopefully I'm showing my, am I showing my web browser here?
Yep, I see it, Aaron. You're good.
Go to the department website, click on this smiley guy that says workers' compensation, scroll down to Work Comp Campus, and there is a whole bunch of information regarding campus and workers' compensation. Let's see, where do we want to go? Additional sessions. So register for newly scheduled training sessions, review past training sessions. We got a great variety of resources as far as, well, so today's the 13th. So through the 14th through, it looks like, wow, all the way until a few days before Halloween. One of the things that I really like too, we've recorded a lot of our training sessions. And you can see past training sessions if you want some additional information. We've also recorded YouTube videos that are 2 to 3 minutes in length regarding various functions, and they're all found in here. And then we also have, if you have a hard time falling asleep tonight, the 129-page user guide, and there'll be a test tomorrow on this. So make sure that you study. I know Brian has it all memorized. So moving on into session 1, this is accessing documents. What we're going to do is talk about how to find documents in campus, file a notice of representation, access a single claim, and request to the Office of Administrative Hearings. One of the big things that we're going to need to relearn is our vocabulary. And I even find myself doing this from time to time, so I certainly apologize. Every time I use a word incorrectly, my supervisor gives me a demerit. If I get 2 more demerits today, today is going to be my last day at work. So hopefully this next hour will go fine. But a claim. So when I'm referring to a claim, I'm talking about a specific date of injury. So I have a date of injury today. That is a claim. I have a date of injury on October 14th tomorrow. That is another claim, et cetera, et cetera. Entities, I think that word's hopefully pretty self-explanatory. It means an employee is an entity, an employer is an entity, an insurer is an entity, a QRC, medical provider, et cetera. Transactions, it's kind of like Herb the Verb from those of you of the Schoolhouse Rock generation. Things that you do. It's filing a dispute, filing a claim, having an event, a petition to vacate, seeking reimbursement, penalty, coverage, investigation, etc. One of the things that I like about campus is the dashboard. And the dashboard has a lot of information on it. And basically what we've done is condensed it and shrunk it up so that we can see a lot of different information at once, but not have to see it all at the same time. And, you know, I know Brian did a little differently, but I'm just going to jump right on into campus and kind of point out some of these things. We've created a number of different test accounts in our system. The all-important secret password that I've used about a zillion times and I still haven't remembered. So I'm logging in, and this is what you're going to do every day. I'm acknowledging the system access requirements. And this is the dashboard that you're going to see. Some of the main functionality about the dashboard in the upper left-hand corner is the department icon that's going to navigate you back to your main page. Your filing drop-downs, various filings that you're going to be executing. This little bell right here is for a reminder. It looks like at least Bill Preston, for those of you who know about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, has an administrative conference that was scheduled 5 days ago, and it's coming up in 2 days. So Bill needs to start thinking about what associate he's going to assign that to. We have a drop down for Bill to edit his profile, his groups, or to log out. His calendar that's specific to the department system. And then down here, this is where I'm saying we have a lot of information, but we've kind of condensed it. And this is one of the features that I liked when we first saw this. There was a whole bunch of information, and they added these kind of tabs here. So these are my claims that I'm working on. I have 2 claims, Cleopatra and Art F. I have various disputes. So a dispute is a case within a claim. So you can see that Cleopatra Calderon has a number of different disputes or cases going on within her particular case, and then various forms that have been generated. So let's jump in to one of the disputes. And again, we have a lot of different information for each claim, each dispute, each event. There's a details page that provides us with information. And what we're getting at here is, let's say that I want to view all of the documents that are specific to this particular dispute or case within a claim for the particular date of injury. So on the bottom, I have the parties, I have events, any administrative conferences that might have been scheduled. I have this little, I don't know what we want to call this, Brian. I'm going to call it a doohickey that can change it, sort it from past events to upcoming events, related cases or claims, and documents. And I think what we're trying to show here is how to access documents to a specific claim. So jumping back in to the PowerPoint, if I want to locate a particular document within a particular dispute, I need to navigate to that particular dispute, scroll down to the tab bar on the bottom. And again, this is what I was just showing. Now I'm going to pull this out. I have the parties, the events, the related cases or claims, or documents. I just learned how to do that last hour, so I like doing that. And again, we have an example here of a document that has been created.
Hey, Aaron, I think we just lost your audio for a second there. This is Brian. Did you mute? I'm wondering if we've lost all the audio. Sandy or Virginia?
I can hear you, Brian.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to Aaron.
And I see Virginia can hear me also.
Yeah.
Let's sit tight, everyone.
Yeah.
Just a sec. Just bear with me, everyone. All right, everyone. I see that I've just talked to Aaron on his cell phone, and it looks like his whole system just went down. So, Catherine, if you're still there, could you give me the host privileges so that I can share my screen instead?
Yep, I will go ahead and do that right now.
Thanks for sticking with us, Catherine.
Don't we love technology?
There you go, Brian. You will now have the presenter privileges, and then just let us know when you have it up on the screen.
Okay. I'm going to go, and I hadn't pulled up, I didn't have my campus external site up because I wasn't presenting, but I'm going to grab that right now. Okay. I'm going to share my campus now. Catherine or Sandy, let me know if you guys all see that coming up.
Yep, I can see it.
You're good, Brian.
Okay. All right, and I see Aaron is actually back on. So, Aaron, you can either join in and take the reins again, or I'll continue with showing how we're going to look at documents.
Brian, maybe if you just want to continue to run with it. Sorry about that, everyone. We lost power momentarily in the greater Lino Lakes area. So, but
All right, it has.
the co-pilot is flying.
Right. That's why there's two of us. I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint in case we need it, but I might just stick in the demonstration mode. So here we are with the PowerPoint, but I'm going to go back to camp. Right. What we want to show you all, what we're showing you all, and by the way, since I'm doing some demonstration here, Sandy, it's going to be a little harder for me to watch that chat. Wondering if you might be able to do that, or Aaron, or Catherine, if you're still with us, so we don't miss anything.
Me and Aaron.
You got it. All right.
All right.
So you're here because we want to show you how to look at documents and how to get the documents. So first of all, to look at the documents, you need to be in the claim. And you can see on my queue here, we have a claim. And as Aaron said, a claim is an injury. So we can look at the claim for Cleopatra. So I'm going to right click and do open the claim in a new tab, and that keeps my dashboard where it is, and it lets me go to the additional tab, which Cleopatra's claim, which is Cleopatra's. Now, you might think that all documents should be right here in her claim, but just because she has an injury, the injury is like the first report of injury. That's just it. That's like the Freud. It's just the injury screen. If we want to see the documents which are related, though, to one of her disputes, we're going to need to go into the dispute, not just the claim screen for the employee. So be cautious, or be patient as you're going through campus. Don't just assume that every document is going to be in every document tab you see. So we're in Cleopatra's claim, not Catherine's claim. We're going to go to the claims or cases, which is the disputes for Cleopatra. And we'll pull up, say we saw there was a rehab dispute. I'm going to pull up another new tab so I don't lose where I was. Now I'm in a rehab dispute, and what we mean by a rehab dispute is a rehab request. So now in this rehab dispute that is a dispute over the QRC not doing their job, which presumably is for a change of QRC, we can now go to the documents here, and we should see the documents which have been filed, and there they are. So I'm going to do this function one more time of opening something up. I'm going to do a right click on this request for cert, open it in a new tab. And here is document. So what I did to get there is I was in Cleopatra's claim, which if I had access to it, I will see in my queue. From her claim, I'm looking into the disputes, and I found the rehab dispute. And from the rehab dispute page, I can look at the documents related to the rehab dispute, which is the actual document, which is the certification request. So that's how you're going to see documents. What you can do with them is a couple of choices. You can just look at them right here and take your notes in your own systems, or you could use this icon and print it, or you could use this icon here and download it. And by downloading it, it takes it to your own computer, your own system in your firm. And once it's downloaded, you can do whatever you want with it, which is open it up later when you're not logged into campus. You could email it to an associate or an attorney within your firm, or you could email it to your client to discuss it. You can do whatever you want with it once you've downloaded it. If you were in, I'm going to go back to the documents screen. If you want to, that's to download one single document, which in this case was the request for cert. Sometimes, or many times, you're going to want all the documents on a particular dispute. And in that case, you could actually, it's even highlighted for us. We could download everything. And if I were to click on that, to download truly everything, or if we wanted to, we could choose to download certain types of documents. So as you can see, we've got a whole host of choices here. If I wanted to do all the awards and the awards on STIP, I could choose just those two types of documents. But what I'm going to stick with here is all. And if I hit download, what that's going to do, it'll generate a request or an electronic request to create a zip file of all the documents that are in this dispute. You, the requester, will then get an email when that zip file is ready, and you'll be able to get it. And now you'll have everything at your own computer in your own G drives or home drives or whatever it is you might use in your firms. So you can again download, view, or print a single document in a dispute, in a claim, or you could download the entire set of documents. And once you've downloaded them, whether it's the entire set or a single one, you can do whatever you want with it. Email it, share it, whatever you want. So that's how you can see and access documents. The or see and download or share or save documents. The next question that you all want, of course, is, well, how can we get access to those documents? And to get access to those documents, you need the appropriate authorization. Just like today, if you're a defense lawyer, you're going to need to file a notice of representation for the particular claim you're representing the insurer on. If you're an employee's attorney, you're going to want to file a retainer agreement. Just like, and as you need to do that today, you're going to need to do that in campus also. If you are an attorney, whether employee's attorney or insurer's attorney or house counsel, you're going to want to, and you want access to injuries which are old. Maybe the employee had an old injury from 1984. That might be covered under the employee's retainer agreement, or it might be covered under a signed authorization that the employee submitted as part of discovery to the defense lawyer. And if what you're looking to get does need a signed authorization, just like they do today, you'll also need to do that in campus. So the question then becomes, if we have these authorizations, or we're going to generate a notice, or we want to send in a notice of rep, a notice of appearance, we're going to do that through a similar process, either of those through a similar process, which is this submit a filing. So if we're going to be submitting a filing, which is for the purpose of getting access, we're going to go to access a case or claim. And we're going to follow the choices, the drop-down choices. It asks us, what do I want to do? In this case, say I am, I saw Sarah Hunter there, say I'm Sarah, and I want to file my notice of appearance or my notice of rep. I'm just going to click here. I need to say, well, which claim am I filing that notice of rep on? So I know in this case, I've got the employee's ID, which is based off the WID for Cleopatra Calderon. This is a made-up person. So I know that the WID would be 6155 612. And I've got to know her date of injury. That needs to be accurate. And that would be 8/15 of 20. And I should be able to pull up her claim. It doesn't find it. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. So what we're going to do, for whatever reason, I don't know why it didn't like it there, we're going to try it a different way. All right, I'm going to go back and start it again. So submit a filing, access a case or claim, notice of appearance or rep, campus file number. And I know that this is the one because that this morning. And her last name is Calderon. Is try to accomplish the same task, and this time it recognized it. Simple question here: are we going to represent the party on the full claim or just part of a claim? Well, we're going to claim our client. We're not just going to represent our client for a specific dispute. We want to represent the client for the entire claim. So we say the claim. Who do we represent? If I'm Attorney Hunter, I'm going to say the employer. Now we know that the defense lawyers represent the employer and insurer. Campus only requires that you click at least one of them. So I don't have to say both employer and insurer. I could have done insurer and it would have worked the same way. So if I just say insurer, Lumberman's, good enough. Campus is fine with that as long as you're representing one, you're clicking that you're representing one of them. In this particular case, Campus knows there's already a lawyer there, so we're just going to say I'm substituting. But if there wasn't a lawyer already there, then you wouldn't need to say you're substituting. Any limitations? No. Got some legal. I'm Bill Preston. Going to need to know our attorney ID. 7632345. And we're filing. Again, we're building out our notice of rep because I'm an insurer's attorney. So we don't have to serve the employee, but we'll list her anyway. We're going to list everybody here. It'll say this is the building out of our service, of our affidavit of service. It's going to be electronic service to Lumberman, and it's going to be mail service to Mall Snacks. We're going to add Bill Preston one more time, one more piece of legal, and submit. And it's done. So what we have now done is we have, as a defense counsel, submitted, which means in this case, generated a notice of appearance for this particular claim, which is this particular date of injury. And we can take a look at the document that we just created. Here it is. So unlike a retainer agreement, the notice of rep does not need the client to sign it, and so that's why it's generated as opposed to being uploaded. And we have affidavit of service. It shows that we're mailing a copy of the notice of rep to Mall Snacks, and we are electronically serving the notice of rep to Lumberman's. We didn't click that we're serving it on Cleopatra. Had we wanted to, I could have added a service party and added Cleopatra also. So what will have to happen here is that I, as the defense lawyer or the paralegal, will need to just print this out or save it and print it out, and drop a copy of it in the mail to Mall Snacks, which is what we're saying we're doing, that we're mailing it on this particular day. So just like you have to mail it when you say you mail it today, you're going to have to mail it when you say you mail it after we go live in campus. And I will now have access, as the defense counsel, Bill Preston, I'll now have access to that claim. I'm going to stop there and see if we've got any questions about what we just did. No questions, that's all right. So if I want to access this as employee's attorney, we're going to still file a notice of appearance. I believe this is the same one we're going to do. CL 023880415. The whole thing next. So now we're representing the employee. And are there any limitations? No, there aren't. Now, here's what we would have expected. If I'm representing Cleopatra and I'm her attorney, I'm going to need a retainer agreement. And so a retainer agreement is signed. And so that's not something that can be just generated in campus, but I would need to upload that document that I have in my hands as I'm sitting in my office, or well, I guess at home as her attorney. So I'm going to upload. When we upload, again, what we're trying to do is upload signed retainer agreement, because that's how we're going to get access to Cleopatra's claim if I'm Cleopatra's attorney. So it has to be in a PDF format, and it probably will be because it's not a Word document. If you've had her sign the retainer agreement, you're going to be uploading it as a PDF. So this one, we'll just pretend that's our signed retainer agreement. We've selected it, we can open, and now it's going to be uploaded. If I wanted to put a description, I could, but because there's no asterisk there, we don't have to, so I won't. I'm going to hit up, and there it is. And we're pretending that's our retainer agreement. A couple of legal declarations. We're still Bill Preston. I'm going to put his attorney in there. As you can see, it's very similar to what we just did. The only, as a defense lawyer with a notice of rep, the only difference being that as an attorney, as an employee's attorney, I need a signed retainer agreement. It's really the only difference. Add our service. Another legal declaration. We're Bill Preston. One final legal declaration, and submit. Now, like in the present world, when I'm an employee's attorney and I submit my retainer agreement to DLI and I ask for a copy of the file, you don't automatically get it. It's not a robotic system. We have someone who actually needs to look at that retainer agreement and make sure it's okay, and then they'll send you a copy of the file. Similarly in campus. Just because I send something I call a retainer agreement, you're not going to automatically get access. Someone on the DLI end will look at that retainer agreement, and if it's okay, they'll turn on the switch so you now have access to the file. You'll get a notice when that happens, and when it's been given to you, the access, that file will now show up in your queue. Right over here. Already been done, but that's what you would see once you have access given to you by the DLI staff. And then we're back to where we started. If I wanted to see the documents for Cleopatra's claim, I'll go into her claim, I can look for any disputes, and I can see what's there, and I can download them. So I'm going to stop for a minute there to let that sink in a bit and see if we've got any questions. Aaron, anything else I should be pointing out at this point, if you're with us?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and we haven't seen any questions. One of the things that I like about the campus system is that it allows access to information. And I think back to my days of active practice, you know, I was constantly worrying about whether or not something was filed or what I had coming up or what the status was on something. And for better or for worse, this is going to be an opportunity to have real-time access to things. And I think, too, one of the things that I always worried about, and I really enjoyed working with the legal assistant and paralegal that I had, but did that document get filed? And this is a way to, you don't have to send that annoying email, you know, did you serve and file that today like I asked you to? You can just jump on campus in the middle of the night and quicker than it is to send that email, you can double check and see that it was actually served and filed correctly.
And you can look at it and you can see it.
Exactly.
Now, I did see there was a question that looking for access to older claims. Sandy, if you're still with us, did you want to speak to that process or that developing process?
As Brian, he's using that term developing. As I've indicated to you, you need currently what you'll need in campus is an authorization for each date of injury that you would like access to, which is slightly different than what we do now. We are in the process of working out steps. If you're looking to get more than just one date of injury, such as any and all dates of injury, we're working on that process, and we should be sending something out here in the next day or two on how that's going to work. So just kind of hold tight, and if you get our email updates, you should get something here shortly on that process, because there will be a way to do that. That will include any older injuries. If they are not being migrated over, they're currently not open or something, they will be scanning and getting that information also into campus for older dates.
Thanks,
That's all
Sandy.
I got.
Great. One of the questions we have also is, what about when we need to have something referred to OAH? Don't forget that C-Track is not going away. C-Track isn't really being affected at all. It's still there. If you need to refer something, if you need to file something with C-Track today, you're going to still need to file it with C-Track after we go live on November 2nd. If we need to file something at DLI, then file it at DLI after go live. Now, we sometimes have a situation, or well, we oftentimes have a situation where we've got a medical request filed at DLI, and there is a request to have it referred over to OAH because we've got a 239 conference coming at OAH, and because we don't want the possibility of conflicting decisions, we will give up our jurisdiction on the medical request, and we will refer that over to OAH so that the medical request can be heard at the same time as the 239 conference. And I'm saying that that could be confusing to a lot of people, but I think most of you guys, if not all of you, are working at law firms, so you know exactly what process we're talking about there. If that's the case, that we need to have it referred over, there is, in fact, no formal request to be done that needs to be done in campus. All you need to do, as you do today, is you'll reach out to us by way of phone or by way of email, or you might submit I suppose you could submit a motion to consolidate. And if we get that, I would encourage you to email us, because we don't, as in today's world, we don't necessarily get that motion to consolidate immediately. It has to get to us. So what you might want to still do is just write to us and let us know, or call us. Let us know that you want this consolidated, and then we'll take a look at it. If we agree with the consolidation, then we will on our end send the referral, which is a internal process, to OAH. OAH will then use their access to campus as a campus user, and they will be able to see all the documents for that claim in campus. So that's what you do. If you want it, you do this exact same thing that you're doing right now. Just reach out to us and ask us about the referral to OAH. So let's stop there. Any questions? That was interesting. That's not supposed to happen. When I click on a claim, I'm not supposed to get kicked out of the system. But there's been a number of things that's being tweaked and worked on for our campus system before our go live. Since we had a bit more time, we wanted to try to make it as good as possible. So sometimes if we got a few people in the kitchen, things can happen. So don't expect to get kicked out when we're at go live. So here we are again at our main screen, and if I wanted to submit, like Sandy said, if you want access to older claims, we're working on the most streamlined process possible. But one way that you will be able to request access to other claims, for example, there's an older injury and Defense Counsel sent a request for a discovery request for signed authorization. Employee's attorney got that done by the employee. They submitted the signed authorization to the Defense Counsel. Defense Counsel now wants to go get a prior records on a prior injury. What you can do, and they have an authorization for it. We're going to try to access a claim. We're not filing a notice of appearance. We're just submitting the authorization that we got. So we're going to click on that, submit an authorization. And it will take us, we're going to say who we are, someone else who's got with a signed authorization to access a claim. We've got written consent from the employee, and back to where we were. We're going to now enter the information on the specific claim that we're looking for and upload that signed authorization as if we were uploading a retainer agreement. And as Sandy said, we are still working on perhaps a possible streamlined process if you have 6 different older injuries that you want to access. Can we make a streamlined way to request that? More coming on that later. Aaron, anything you think we should add here?
No, you're doing a good job.
All right. So the goal, actually, even though we'd slated this for an hour and a half, the goal was to be able to show you in as much detail as we can how to see and access the documents, what you can do with the documents, and how you can get access to the documents, which we've gone through. So we actually are at a point, if we don't have any other questions, where we can give you some time back, but we can all stay on for a while longer and see if anyone does have any other questions they want to put up there, either just speaking up or by putting a question in the chat function. And if you are putting a question in the chat function, make sure you put it in, make sure you write your question to everyone so we can all see it. And Sandy or Catherine, are we seeing anything coming in, or is everybody good for now?
I'm not seeing any additional questions unless Catherine can see anything. I'm not.
Nope, I don't see anything.
Okay, and sometimes we don't know why, but sometimes someone will write a question in a WebEx chat and we don't see it. So if you're out there and you have written a question and we're not answering it, we're not out to get you, we're not ignoring you, we just might not be seeing it. So you might want to take your mic off mute and just speak up, let us know what's on your mind. So it looks like, I think it was Kate, I saw there was a question that came up there. Do one of Catherine or Sandy, you guys see that question or that comment?
Okay, I can see this. Beth wrote this, but I don't know if you saw it. Is campus going to pull in notice of reps from older disputes, or do we have to file a new notice of rep on all claims and disputes? No, you should not have to file a new notice of rep. Claims that are currently in our current system are all being migrated over. So the notice of rep should also be migrated over as well. So you should not need to file another one. This
Thanks,
would
Sandy.
only, this would only be if you're going forward and now you have a new client or a new claim that you're working on, then you would have to. But if you've already filed one, you shouldn't need to do another.
Okay, with no other questions, I think we should call it, and we'll let everybody get back to their busy days. Thank you very much for taking interest in taking a deeper dive into campus functions. You have probably all been in other trainings where you've seen our contact information, and you can find contact information at our website, or you know how to reach Aaron and I. Have a great day, everybody.